Okay, we're in the greenhouse.
We're going to talk a little bit about the greenhouse. We haven't got the mess totally cleaned up, as you can see, but we did get the vegetables out here to get them a good start for the day's heat. And as you can see, like I've told you in one of the other videos, and we haven't had a chance to get caught up on it, I've still got 2 or 3. These are Rutger tomatoes, and you can see the tomatoes are getting taller in the pot. Now's the time to transplant. And when you transplant tomatoes, see these straight leaves that look, you pinch those off, and then when you plant in your next pot, which the next pot will be a good size one for now, probably one this size for these larger ones, and I will plant them right to about here. This will all be underneath, and see where all these little fine hairs are? Those will be roots come out of there, and that will help strengthen and give your plant a little bit of vitality. You can see there, anything that's higher than the pot it's in, it needs to be transplanted. And you can see I haven't had a chance to do it because I've been working on chickens and chicks and quail. I've had a lot of other things going on, so I've been getting a little behind on my work. We hooked the electric up in here so that we can plug in and have lights at night if I wanted to work late at night. We had the fan on. Now, what the fan does, you can see how it's moving the plants when the fan gets over in them. That strengthens your plants. That's like a natural wind blowing, and that strengthens the stalk. They didn't have that in the house. We didn't put the fan on them in the house. Now they'll get a chance to strengthen up. We've got our Fooled You jalapenos that are going to need to be transplanted. These are Fooled You jalapenos are a jalapeno pepper that doesn't have the heat. It has the flavor and the shape and looks just like a jalapeno, and it is a jalapeno, but it doesn't have the heat. And I have 5 of these. I have 1 little one and 4 larger ones, and I've got to transplant all this too. Our Chinese cabbage, the Napa cabbage, isn't doing all that well. I've got to get them watered. But you can see we've got smaller Rutger tomatoes, we've got Roma tomatoes, and all these got to be transplanted. This one here's a good size one. This one definitely needs to be transplanted in a bigger pot. We have our pak choi, or bok choy, that's going to need to be in something larger. These are all, anything that's taller than the cup. Anything that's smaller, you have a chance to leave it in there for a little longer. But you can see most of them are ready to be transplanted, and I've been getting behind. So now after work, even if it's raining, I can do this gardening and not have to take away from the sunshine outside work.
And you got the electricity the first time.
And we have the electricity to work with.
You hooked that up and you got it working the very first time, which was great.
Well, it's electric. You only have 3 wires, a ground, black, and white. If you know what you're doing, then if you don't, then you might have problems. But I've hooked up wiring for years in my barn and that, so I don't have a problem with that. But my next step is to clean this up and get everything transplanted. And the weatherman said it's supposed to rain for Monday and Tuesday, so that'll be a perfect opportunity. I won't have to drag dirt and sawdust and everything. I've got everything I need right here. So while the sun is shining, I'm going to get out and start cleaning up some of the sawdust mess and some of the leaves and things, and compost all that for next year's garden, or this fall's garden. But you make yourself a greenhouse, you're going to love it. You have an air supply where they hold the window open or closed depending on how cold it's going to be at night. If they say it's going to be below 40 or 50, you close your window and open it up in the morning when you get up to go.
And you made this out of?
This is all out of greenhouse plastic.
And the metal?
The metal is cattle panels. They sell them in places like Lowe's or Tractor Supply. Usually Tractor Supply will have cattle panels. You can use the pig panels, or but the cattle panels, they start out a small and go to a 4x6 opening, and they're all welded wire, so it's strong enough. This greenhouse has been up, this will be its 3rd season, and this will be the 2nd season that we've had the greenhouse plastic on it. The first plastic we put on there, not knowing anything about plastics and that, I put regular construction plastic, which they use for covering windows and whatever, and the sun just deteriorated it by the end of the season. And as you can see, we've got little bits of it. It's biodegradable. This is some of the remnants of it. You can see it's very brittle.
And the reason we used it is because we had it.
Yeah, and that's all we had. I had a big roll of it. You just crumple it and it breaks right apart. And that's what the sun and the weather does to it. So if you're going to buy plastic for a greenhouse, go to a greenhouse plastic. If you've copied some of our other, or watched any of our other videos, we explain where we got it from and all that. I'll have to look it up again and give you the manufacturers, because this is the 2nd year and you can see it's still in good shape. And it's supposed to be a 4-year plastic. And if things work out right, Ruthie and I'd like to make a bigger greenhouse so that we can grow vegetables almost year-round.
And I'm going to make some playlists for some of the things we've been doing. I've been doing some behind the work scenes or work stuff, and just so that if you want to look up greenhouse or rabbits, that I'll have all those things up for you, so they'll all be in order. We've really only been running our channel for like a year. We had it a year before, but we didn't do much with it. And last year, and then the last few months, we've been really beefing it up.
Well,
for you guys,
this is the time of year that things get busy on a backyard farm, or even if you're in a residential area, or if you've got things on your back porch and that, you know as well as I do, once you do your spring cleanup, you've got other things going on. There's always something to do. And there's always something on this farm that keeps us busy, whether it's birds hatching out, or rabbits having little ones, or anything else that goes on here. The greenhouse, transplanting, there's always something to keep you busy. The bucket system I haven't even got started yet, and that's going to be a chore. And these are things that Ruthie and I are just going to stay busy doing, and we get the time, we're going to video them so you can see just how we're going along and doing it. And if by all means, if you can find an easier way of doing something, by all means, go ahead and do it. And we enjoy doing these videos for you. We're not doing it at any cost to ourselves. We're doing it for trial and error, so that if we make an error, you don't have to. And hopefully you appreciate the little things, some of the recipes and things that we give you. We try to do shortcuts so that you don't have to go the long way around something, that there's other ways of doing things. Like, for instance, this morning we found some mole holes in the yard. And with moles, if you buy juicy fruit gum and stuff them down the mole holes, the juicy fruit gum will attract the moles. They will eat the gum, but they can't digest the gum. So you'll end up getting rid of your moles that way. So that's just a little tidbit. Alright, we're going to go so I can get more work done. This is Clay and Ruthie from Poebel's Backyard Farm saying join us again, and God bless.